Welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom, the why, what, and how. We're on section 3 of my book, The How, and I'm teaching you how to apply games into your classroom. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. If you want to help me tweak these games, ping me at the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge. Find me on Roxem. Or today we're talking about Duolingo, and I'm going to talk about a lot of the Duolingo Educators Network. Oh, and of course, studio-nemo.com. All right, we're on chapter 22 of my book, and I'm really focusing on how I use Duolingo in the classroom. Okay, in our previous episodes, we talked about TPRS, Teaching Proficiency with Reading and Storytelling with the Project World Characters. So once again, my philosophy is students spend more than enough time behind the screen. So I use Duolingo for homework only, and during class time is the time we're playing games and we're applying the skills. But I really leverage the heck out of Duolingo. Because, first of all, they got these really cute characters, right? They're very easy to draw, so you can capitalize on that. I don't have these captioned, but if I tell the students to choose their favorite character and caption the body parts or describe what they're wearing. I made a mini Guess Who game. I printed this out and I had my secretaries laminate it. And then I've got a bunch of bingo chips and I printed little cards of each of the characters. And so I can get students into partners and they could be describing the characters to each other. They're very simple. It's pretty easy to figure out. This a Guess Who game like this doesn't last more than 5 minutes because there's not that many characters to choose from, and each one is very different from the other. So it's pretty quick. Fan fiction. My students love writing fan fiction. They like drawing the characters and they like writing about the characters. So each character has a different personality, so it's really easy to get into what they would be doing. So here we've got a little story about Oscar. We've got a little story about Lynn following Eddie around. This one from the other point of view, Eddie following Lynn around. Let me reset that. Okay. All the characters are very different. So you can have the students describe them out the wazoo. Okay. You can make a kind of, I don't know, my friend Kathy calls it a dating profile, but just to have the students describe the character, what they like, what they're wearing, all the vocabulary that you want to work on, you can work on with these characters. Random writing practice. There's a lot of really funny pictures out there. And if you go to the Duolingo Educators Network, we've got a lot more pictures up there. And I'm willing to share my whole giant library also. And sometimes I just put out a silly picture and I'm like, describe. Lynn and Duo are off on an adventure. What are they doing? So they're good stepping stones. And let me give you a little more detail about this. All right, so this is a bunch of really crazy pictures, okay? And I went to the local library, not my school library because they don't have as much as the local library does. And best advice I can give you is make friends with your local teen librarian, okay? So I told her I needed sound effects because my brother is a Foley artist and he's got lots of sound effects. So I'm like, I know that there's sound effects out there. So she found me all the BBC sound effects. So you can click on it and you can hear, let's see. So you're outside, there's birds tweeting and everything, okay. Let's see what this one is. Footsteps. Okay. But sometimes it's funny because the students hear something and they don't know what it is. Like there's one here that's a dentist drill and they thought it was a baby crying. I'm like, okay, fine, it's a baby crying. So I'll randomly call 3 students up and the first student will, I call them up one at a time. So, maybe they'll choose this picture and the next student will choose this picture and the next student will choose this picture. Okay, great. And then I call up 3 more students and they randomly choose this sound. They don't get to listen to the sounds. They just randomly pull them up. Okay. And then I play the sound of the picture. I'm like, here's the start of the story, guys. What's this? It's like a crowd rock. Okay, so whatever they want, and then you know how it is. I won't waste time on it like this, but each one has a different sound and a different picture, and the students will write a story, and those get really goofy and really funny. I don't know why I'm resetting. There's nobody watching this after me. Um, okay, and then let's talk about Duolingo stories. Okay, I'll show you some more things you can do with uh, the characters and writing in a second, but I think I'm going to run out of time in this episode. More things you can do with the stories. Okay, so you get to the stepping stone right here. There's a story. All right, and then you click on it, and the story starts, and the students can hover and get the meanings if they want to, but it's all comprehensible input, and there's comprehension questions throughout the story to make sure that they're understanding. Okay, um, capitalize on the fact that these stories are really funny and the characters have different personalities. All right, so I know that there's stories in French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, German, Japanese. Several languages have stories from that language into English, like English for speakers of Chinese, English for speakers of Portuguese, English for speakers of Spanish, English for speakers of French, French, Japanese, Russian, German, Italian, Turkish and Ukrainian, Hindi, I think Vietnamese, definitely Korean too. All have stories into English from those languages. But maybe you teach a language that doesn't have Duolingo stories yet. Well, there's this one beautiful website, the unofficial Duolingo stories. This was made by some Duolingo enthusiasts, and they were sharing over the Duolingo forums when the Duolingo forums existed. So here's the link to it right here, duostories.org. I'll put the link in the description also. But there is, last time I checked, this is a little out of date, the screenshot. They said 73 courses. I think they're like up to 95 courses now. But this Rondriano, I want to give credit to him. He's pretty incredible. He made this spiffy looking website. It looks like Duolingo. It feels like Duolingo, but it's got like 90 languages down here that Duolingo doesn't have stories for yet. And it's really, really cool. The voices are text to speech, so they're really robotic. But it's good. I mean, it's the stories, and a couple of them are the older stories from before the Project World characters, and a couple of them are new stories that some enthusiast made up. But they've got this whole Discord server that they work on this with. But it's really cool. If you want stories, go there. Okay, so here's some ideas you can do with the stories. You can print the script for the story, have your students act it out, of course. That's always fun. You can have the students add a line, or change one line, or change the ending, or change the tense. And often I combine these. I tell the students, look, when you have a book and it gets changed into a movie, it's completely different, right? Okay, so here's your story. Change it into a movie and film it for me. So that's pretty fun. Have the students switch characters around. Okay, so each character has a different personality. So if you have a story that's starring Oscar and you change it to starring Junior, it's going to be very different because Junior's a little kid. All right, and he has different wants and needs than Oscar does, the old jaded adult. Okay, you can you have the students use the same situation with different characters. The story's going to change, so that's fun. You can have them write reviews, okay? You can have them read each other's reviews and rate them and make them your own little Rotten Tomatoes thing in the classroom. The students like to vote on what's their favorite. I like to do this a lot because I like to have a lot of drawing before, during, after comic strip. Okay, like what happens at the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle of the story, what happens at the end of the story. I'm running out of time. And then here's a template which is available on the Duolingo Educators Network, right here. All right, and I'm at 10 minutes. At the end of the Duolingo stories, there is this, when you get to the higher levels, they'll ask you to free write, and it's graded by AI, so sometimes their corrections are kind of nonsensical. but it's a good way for your kids to write when you're not around. Now I'm over 10 minutes. Yay, I made it just at 10 minutes. I'll give you more writing ideas next time. Next time, part 7. I got a lot to say about Duolingo. Hope to see you there.